houses of other people's business, right? And I would take 4 calls and make things. And my biggest breakthrough was when I realized that I needed to go out and meet people. When I started to do what I started to do was build my database. I started prospecting my mess, and that's really what I did. And it didn't take long. Once I started doing it, I was really astounded by how quickly business started to grow. And so, you know, it all starts somewhere, guys, right? Start with what you have, and that's the nucleus. You know, your business, your database is the nucleus of your business, right? And inside that database is your inner sphere and your general sphere. And that's what you want to keep building and building. Bruce started with 25, now 4,000. We'll start at various levels, and it'll go to you. And it will build onto that as we start doing business plans in the next coming months. So, what that business plan, the structure that I use is the 1-3-5. It's one overarching objective, which is your financial goal, and then it is what are the three goals that I can use to get me to that. One of the goals is always your sphere. You have to. It's about what's my plan to interact with my sphere, right? How am I going? What's my email, text, handwritten cards, calls, events, anything you can think of. What's my plan for these people? Because these are people I know and who know me. And when any given, I might jump ahead in my presentation, but in any given year, if you implement a 33-touch program with your sphere in any given year, 6% of them will have the need to buy or sell real estate. Okay, and of that 6%, so let's just start with 100, right? 100. I have 100 people in my database. 6 people contacts. 6% is 6 opportunities. And of those 6 opportunities, the statistic is that you will have the chance to earn these 3 deals at half 50% of them, right? So you make that 1,000, and then this is a 0, right? And then that's if you do a 33-touch program with them, and we'll talk about that later. But statistically, 6% will have a need, and of that 6%, you will, if you do the 33-touch program, you will have the opportunity to get 50% of that business. Does that make sense? Go.
Yes, but where does that 6% come from?
Statistical analysis.
Okay, so but that's they're taking people that know other people. They're not
whether you have the 33-touch program or not. Out of 1,000 people in your contact.
So it's just people in your contact list, not like if I go down the street
adding people
and say to people, if you ever have a need for real estate, here's my card. And I get 100.
So, how many people do you have in your database right now?
Well,
you don't have those people in your database.
No, I have like 300, but I have many more. I have many.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, for you.
Right? So of your 300.
And by the way, those are mostly all realtors.
The 300 are mostly realtors?
Yeah, all the people that are my contacts are in the command. I have to put them in all in various places, otherwise.
Okay. You understand the ridiculousness of all of that, right?
Totally.
Okay. The 300 people that are in there are not your clients.
Right, no.
Okay. So you want to get to your clients. So, but the point is that statistically, 6% of people in any agent's database are going to have the need to buy or sell real estate in the coming year. And of that 6%, if you do a 33-touch program with people in those databases, you'll get the opportunity for half. Statistically, that's what it is. And the opportunity means that they'll raise their hand, or you'll intersect an inquiry with a need, something to that effect, right? And half of them, might not use you or haven't thought about you, or slipped through the cracks. Right? So that's an ad for interacting with your database and building your database, right? So the 135, what I use is one major business objective, 3 goals, and achieving that. One of those is what's your plan for your sphere. Then you can take on the other 2, which are how do I get more people in my sphere? Oh, I'm going to farm to get more people in my sphere. I'm going to networking to get more people in my sphere, right? So, but it's the database, and it's not just having them. You have to stay of value. You have to stay connected. You have to be communicating with them, right? And it's more than 70% of that can be done in the database, and the tools come along with that. Okay. All right. So the power of the database. We're going to spend a little time talking, pumping up the database. Like I'm trying to pump up the database. It's cool. Success, right? And you guys have an advantage right now in just starting your journey, right? You don't have to go back and clean up. You don't have to. You could start a new business with new hats, right? It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't matter what you're good at, bad at. You push forward in the activities that are more challenging for you, and you revel in the ones that are to your advantage, right? Your ability to generate leads and therefore grow your business is tied to your ability to amass and systematically prospect and market to a large database of contacts. That sentence is everything. There's a few sentences there. No, there's one sentence. It's everything. If you're not willing to do that and to understand this, then the truth, the heart of your business is your database, and the heart of your business is your regular contact with your database. Don't think that your database is as a file or a software program or a simple mailing list. Your database is the record of your business success and its potential. In other words, it is your business. You will use it to record contact information for your leads, to track your interactions with them, and to assign them to appropriate marketing plans, right? When you hear of a doctor or lawyer selling their practice, what are they really selling? They're selling their contact database and the relationships they have built with the people in it. I sold a business in the past, and the first question they asked me, are you open to staying with the business for a period of time? And, if I wanted to sell that business, the answer to that was yes. Right? Because they saw me as the value of that business continuing, right? So, you're something of value, it is you. And this reinforces Keller Williams' basic stance of it's you are the reason why people work with you, right? It's Keller Williams substantiates you, but their job is to support you as a business owner, right? My job is to support you as a business owner and to help you get those wheels started. So, database tools. All right. What do you guys want to read this? And the database tools.
Database tools. The tools that can help you manage your database in several forms. 1, 3x5 index cards. With index cards in a shoebox building, storing all and contact information for people you know. 2, an electronic spreadsheet. In addition to what index cards do, an electronic spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel, update contact information. You can also quickly sort your contact information by date, zip code, contact type, etc. Number 3, personal information manager. A personal information manager program such as Microsoft Outlook gives you more abilities than a spreadsheet. It also allows you to assign action items, schedule activities, to make phone calls, and send you direct mail. Number 4, database management system. A database management system, a DBMS, such as Microsoft Access, extensive capabilities for sorting and filtering your data, including designing custom forms and reports for inputting and outputting your data. And number 5, contact management system. A contact management system, or CMS, provides you the most power to work with your database. A CMS can be specialized for real estate. Track administrative contacts as you made the move from your database. CMS can prioritize and prompt you regarding the specific actions you need to do today to actively seek business. Many CMSs also look for your things that manage transactions. AW offers its agents the perfect CMS solution with eEdge, which is designed to
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the question is, what is the best database tool to use? And the answer is the one that people actually use systematically, right? But it has to be able to do the 4 things on the next page, right? You have to be able to build your database, feed it every day, communicate with it in a systematic way, and service all the needs that come into your company. That is the framework of your business. How am I, this exists already in some level. What actions am I doing to grow my database? Maybe bring more people into it. How am I communicating with my database? How am I communicating with my database, right? Email, text, calls, cards, social media, and such, right? So I'm growing it, I'm communicating to it. Let's see, and servicing, communicate in a systematic way, feed it every day, and build it. So feed it every day, and then service it, right? So when somebody raises their hand, you're there to service, right? That's the rudimentary framework of success in our business is to because and this is a daily, right? This is a daily activity, all right? You don't want to fall into the humps and the valleys of a business that is on a 90-day cycle, right? 90-day cycle is, you work, it takes you 30 days to find an opportunity. It takes 30 days to fill the order and 30 days to close it, right? And some agents will focus all of their efforts once they get an opportunity on on the one deal they have, and then on day 90, right, they fall off a cliff and start a process over. Right? And the way to avoid that is to be constantly building, growing, being of value, communicating with your clients over time. And then you get a nice high plateau performance because you are creating a pipeline of opportunity at the same time that you're processing opportunities. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So these fall 4 laws: build, feed, communicate, service. Over and over again. Get a tattoo. So, all right, build your database. The size of your real estate business over time will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. Size and quality, right? Many agents, the key making the most of your lead generation is to build a database of the people you meet in your business, and of course, stay in touch with that. Over time, that database will become the engine of your business. It will power your lead generation. It will produce a continuous flow of referrals, and in the end, it will be a key financial asset of your sales business. Imagine, we're in a society of gratification, right? And so everybody wants the check today, right? But it really is a 90-day cycle of once I have an opportunity, it takes me 30 days plus to get the opportunity. In the beginning, it takes a little bit longer to get the opportunity. It takes a little bit longer to process the opportunity, and very little bit longer. Closing the opportunity or the actual contract period is more predictable than the other two. So you really, the sooner you get into building a lead generation machine, the sooner you will see the benefit of it. The sooner you get into interacting with people and prospecting them, the sooner you will see a benefit from it. It's not science, but it is a pattern that is fairly predictable in 90 days, right? So the question is, when you starting your business? You're starting your business today. When are you starting prospecting? When are you starting marketing? When are you going to get your contacts into your contact? When are you going to put them on a systematic touch system? Because that's when the party gets started, right? Don't overthink it. Okay. Not to point out Charlotte while she's not here, but Charlotte, she really overthinks it. It's like, Charlotte, just get it. Oh, it's going to look a certain way. It's got to have certain content. I can't just send anything to my clients. It's not about sending just anything. It's about sending something, right? It doesn't have to be the end all. You will evolve. The conversation will evolve. You know what I mean? Your open rate today is going to be much less than your open rate fast forward in a year. When people start to see you and kind of acknowledge you as a business provider, service provider, a business person, they're going to listen just a little bit harder. But you have to start somewhere, right? And Charlotte's clients do listen to her in a very acute way. Because I would still argue that something's where contacts come from. We see it as what page is that? 12. 12. It's 14 to 12 for you. And here are all the sources and possibilities of where you can get opportunities, right? Where you can meet new people, right? I was just talking to Alex and Austin. They're like, oh yeah, we were just at the store and we were in line and we both started to talk to somebody you know, it became a contact, right? Opportunities are everywhere. But, look at these, any questions about these sources?
I have a question. So where it's all the stuff that's like expired, withdrawn, for sale by others, are they talking about going on to the MLS? Or those are, where are those coming?
I don't know what they're talking about. The question is, where do you get expired and withdrawn?
Yeah, I know they're on the MLS, but they usually give a phone number, not any other information. But I guess
The MLS does?
no,
No, the MLS doesn't really provide phone numbers of the clients. They would pass
so
agent.
that would be the past agent.
So yeah, there's a couple different. There are services like RedX that serve expireds and withdrawals on the daily. Through our title, you could probably get that file sent to you daily.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to call expired and withdrawals.
Okay.
It's a very specific conversation.
Right.
As you can imagine, on the first day, they probably get 40 calls. Second day, they get 8 calls.
Right.
And it probably continues for a while.
Yeah.
But somebody's getting through. Somebody's going to relist their house if they want to still sell.
Right. Okay.
This is just one perspective. If you want to have a dinner party every week, or relating to one of something that you feel very strong about, so, music or alumni association, geography or culture, or whatever it is, the opportunities are endless. I have zero judgment around how you choose to meet new people, right? You want to have it kind of reflect a professional standard, grace to just get people. You can get a lot of attention to this situation, right? And then I don't know if that's the answer to building your database. You want it to be reflective of your intention and live your life. I encourage you to experiment with it. Any questions about the different sources? No.
What's an IVR?
Robocall. Yeah. Right? IVR calls. Yeah, it's a recorded call.
Is that what stealth sites are? That sounds very.
I think cell sites are like microsites.
I don't know.
Microsite is it's a site that it is very specific for a site. So your Hancock, the cell site might be Hancock homes, or colonial homes in Los Angeles, or it could be pet friendly areas, or it's something very specific for a very specific group of people, and then you market to that. Right? It could be a part of your big website, Andrew.com, right? And then in there you have Fountain Franklin.
Right, which is
Franklin,
here running.
Yeah, Franklin area residents, right?
Right.
You can have money in hacks, right? You can have best fish dishes now. You know what I'm saying? And you drive traffic to them specifically, and then you glean relationship, through specific.
A little bit like advertising on Facebook, where you can pick your geographic area if you have an ad.
Well, sure. It could be geographic area. It could be.
I mean, I don't think Facebook does things like against that micro. Maybe it does. I don't know about it.
But it's geographically micro. You cannot. Geographically, you cannot.
But it will tell people.
But for other things, you might be able to, just like dog people like dogs, people love, those kind of things.
Okay.
You get around you. So this is a microsite. It's not you're not driving to here. Your real estate, you're driving to here, and through here they get to there. And through here they get to there.
Yeah.
It's about meeting people in your, who have the same interests as you, same passions as you. Right? Get out there. There's someone very. So having Mets versus Mets and Mets, regardless of the lead generation source, the contact information you gather for your contact database can be classified into one of two fundamental groups: Mets and having Mets, right? And you see in this chart, you have only 50 or 100 people, they need to be in your database. You got to start somewhere. So Mets and having Mets are people, Mets are people who know you and understand who you are and what you do. And having Mets are people that you aspire to be. So general public, target group, people in your farm, right? You may have some of their information, and then you might even be able to send them an email, but they don't know who you are and what you offer as a service. So in this little illustration here, you get an idea of having Mets, having Mets and Mets. The idea is that you are moving having Mets to Mets, right? So you got network groups in the Mets, you got allied resources, very, very underutilized group. And they're a very select subset of your net group who are in real estate related fields, individuals you expect either to do business with or to receive business leads from every year, usually multiple times. Can you or can have done business with they can or have done business with mortgage companies, title companies, appraisers, landscapers, so on and so forth. Look at the people that you use for service and think about how much you enjoy doing their referrals, right? Be that person who does reciprocal referrals, and I try to do that offers good service. Advocates, people. So you can take apart each of these. So they take apart you can try to take. So I would go through the Mets here. Mets and having Mets. You're basically developing a plan for these specific groups, right? If it's a networking group or an allied resources, you would be of value to them and you would market and prospect to them, right? Advocates, core advocates. So advocates and core advocates are like sphere and inner sphere. The core advocates not only can and will do business with you, but they are well-placed owner of a sports team, executive at a large corporation, a builder, so on and so forth, and will send you a steady stream of business. You want to not take these people for granted. A lot of the agents overlook this opportunity. We used to do and I think you've probably heard this one before, but we used to do in the old days, we would do this 25 folks exercise. And the 25 folks are people in your life. They're a rarefied group of advocates or would-be advocates once you activate them, right? And it takes activation. You said, you identify them as people who have influence over others, right? Could be my mother-in-law, could be a lawyer, could be meta sports teams, as I said. But you have those people in your life, and you want to systematically make the ask. Go to them and say, hey, I want to be you are my person of choice, right? And I want to be your person of choice also, right? And so how do I get to do that? Well, I have a brother-in-law who's a realtor. That's okay, I'll be number two. Oh, I have a brother-in-law and I have a best friend. It's okay. Number three, I just want to get on the list and I want the ability to earn your business, to earn the opportunity. And it won't matter if I'm number three or number 23 or number one, I am going to still offer a business to you, right? So, and so once you set those ground rules, right, have that initial conversation, then you want to market and prospect to them to keep them engaged in constant understanding of your value proposition, right? Because they're referring to people that they care about to you, right? So you want to make sure that you are of value. And no better way to illustrate that than to get in and start marketing and prospecting to them specifically. And I would next level that too, according to the person. Really, how can you give that to them? How can you pour into them? What are they looking to accomplish? And how do they accomplish? Right? Because they are they're like a gold. Tap into one of those, and they're referring you. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? Types of business nets and have nets bring. Let's so look at the type of business you can expect your vets and having vets to bring you, right? Having vets, once you identify, can bring you new business, but vets will bring you referrals and repeat business and new business, right? I will use you. I will tell my friends to use you, and I will use you again. That's what you want. That's the beauty of it. That's a good client. And it's a good business owner and a client. Okay? It doesn't happen on its own. You have influence over that relationship and that response system, right? You can't, it's not 100%, but I can tell you, if you close a deal with someone and you stay in contact and of value to them, you will have a better chance of receiving referrals and getting repeat business from them. It's just, it's a ridiculous stat. It's like 82 or 83% of people who buy or sell property said they would use their agent again. But in actuality, only 17-18% actually do. And that's because the agents disappear. They disappear after they've done the deal, after they got them what they wanted. They walk away from, they see that as the end of the opportunity. And so that's a transactional agent. Okay? You want to be a relational agent. Transactional agents like, give me the order, I feel the order, here you go, stay in the phone, right? It's the difference between, well, I don't want to disparage hot dog stands, right? But hot dog stand or fine dining experience, right? Just as a gross generalization, I'm sure there's a lot of always out there. Hot dog stand owners put in the extra sauce and they build a relationship, come back to them because they get the best dirty water in town, right? But it's about customer service and staying connected. Right? Yeah. Vets can provide you with repeat referral and new business. Having vets can provide you mainly with new business. It's much harder to get a new client than it is to stay relevant with an establishment. Is what I've been saying over and over again. How large should your database be? So the real estate agent provides us with some calculations for how many nets and habits you would have to work to achieve 320 closed transactions in a single year. For the Mets, it assumes a 12.2 conversion rate if you put them through 8x8 and subsequently 33 touch for 12 months. Likewise, the Mets assumes 50-to-1 conversion rate if you have it marked, if you market it to them with a 12 direct program. So that's changed to 6%, not 12.2. Okay. So that's 6% instead of 12.2 conversion. So you can see the difference between Mets and having Mets to get to that net 320 based on the 12.2 conversion rate. You would need 8,000 Avid Mets and 960 to get to that 320 sales per year. And they're saying on that equation, 12%, that you need 1,920 Mets in your database and be working on it, right? It's not just building a mountain. You have to mine it, right? You have to work it. So if you simply scale down these ratios for a target of 36 closed transactions in 12 months and work only with Mets, since they're the quickest way to get new business, this calculation would indicate that you would need 216 people in your Mets database. This, however, would not be accurate because, one, you would need to have all 216 people in your database from day one and have already been working them for some time. But in reality, you'll be steadily building the Mets database over time. Two is the receiving of repeat referral business from Mets database increases over time, of course, and the number of contacts you have made with them also increases over time. It will take 2 to 5 years of consistent communication to ensure hitting the 12.2 ratio. That's absolutely true. The 5-year, what starts to happen in 3 years is people start coming back to you, right? I serviced them in the first year of business, and now somebody has to sell, or moving back, a job offer. Between 3 and 5 years, that first cycle of business starts coming back, and you can see how it becomes compounded over time, right? Along with your communication and your value add with the other people your database just builds. That's the sequence of success in database, right? Awareness and service. Oh yeah, here's the core advocates. That's their target. That's defining what happened. That's NMS. Yeah. So you gather. So if you, it's the little things. If you're adding one person every day to your database, let's say year, over 5 years, it's 15,000. Right? It adds up. Those small increments add up over time. But the purposeful activities associated with gathering them is really what you want to tap into. You want to create some non-optional activities in your business. That this is just something that I do every day, like brushing my teeth. Right? It's just like I meet people, I gather information, I put them in a connected environment. Leverage database to help you establish and maintain regular communication to continually build your relationships with your contacts so that they continually move toward becoming a core advocate. It's much like the funnel. The the steps. These are just the labels. Right? Yeah, and the core advocates is really when we get into that inner circle, is that 20%. Or it's the 80-20 rule. Yeah, 20% for your database, 20% for your audience. Look, your data, here are some sources for building your best database, right? Family, friends, neighbors, home, school, people you do personal business with, the grocery, dentist, all of that, sports and hobbies, former employees, co-workers, suppliers, customers, organizations. What else? Anybody else? Where's some other areas? Yeah. There's no limit to where you can meet these people. Again, in the analog days, there were some exercises that I think, like the 25 folks. You know, these 25 folks are people that are movers and shakers. You want to get a meeting with them, or a business meeting, coffee, lunch, but it needs to be a business meeting, right? And you're saying you're laying out the framework for referrals from them and for them in that. You want to give them tools, you want to give them scripts to keep you in line, and you want to reward them when they do the activities that you want them to do, which in this case is what?
Scooby snacks.
When you give them the Scooby snack,
When they give you the
yeah, don't worry about the escrow or the other. You can reward them in some other way if you like or not. But the Scooby snack comes with the referral itself. Right?
You can also meet people on social media.
Absolutely. That's the real thing, right? And the real opportunity for you to brand yourself and your business and build onto that. What I think Aaron and I talked about before, but everybody should look at is like the 25 folks. It's called a waiting list exercise. And it's like, okay, you're getting married, and who do you like to wedding? Right? Everyone. Everyone you know, everyone your significant other, partner knows, everyone your parents knows. Anybody who would be going to your wedding, you should be marketing to as a potential client, right? These are people you think enough of to invite to your, or somebody you care about thinks enough of to invite to the wedding. You should start marketing to them as a visitor, right? If they live in LA, if they don't live in LA, it doesn't matter. You're just putting it out there in the universe, and you're creating a ripple effect throughout the people you know and know, right? So, you know, we also the olden database hacks from the olden days were, you know, the wedding list, the 25 folks, and even I think I mentioned this earlier in one of the earlier sessions. It was like going through phone book, right? Going through phone books. You're not looking at people. You're going to yellow pages, I would assume. You're looking at service providers, architects, who are the architects right now, plumbers, who are the plumbers right now, whatever else, electricians, the dentists, who are the dentists right now. Using the different categories to trigger some ideas. So if we know and who you don't have in your database, who am I not asking for opportunities? Who am I not being of value to? Right? Does that make sense? It's the fun part. Sure. Okay.
I have a thought about staying in touch with your client. So my mom sold her house 10 years ago. We randomly found a real estate agent online, just like Google search, and we've recommended her to at least 10 people in 10 years, and just done it. She followed both of us on Facebook, my mom and I, And she comments on our posts and keeps in touch. She's never sent an email. She should, but that's how she stayed in touch with us. I'm assuming you might have still looked for her.
You trust her, and she, you know, she got what you wanted.
It's a good way to stay in contact with your client.
Absolutely, it's easiest, right? I think it might have gotten a little more complex since that you're fending off or you're competing with other forms of communication. Or social media is and using that. All right, so here's a little exercise. Take just a couple minutes to just start to stimulate your brain, right? So listen to the instructor teach from the exercise. John, you already know or make fun. Just one moments below to make a list of people who come to mind. Oh yeah, it says, get a copy of the yellow pages and open the book to a random page and pull out occupation category. Ask for a show of hands of those who saw the page instruct the students to write down the name of the person that also stress that it's important for students to put vendors in their database, even though they probably already know hundreds and yeah, right. So let's see. Here's a digital. Let's see. There must be a digital yellow pages. Do you think?
I would think so. Or it's called something else now.
It's just the white pages.
Well, white pages are
It's just like
for individuals.
And what's weird is I had one that was still a 411 phone.
It is there.
Yeah,
You just get 401 on the phone.
huh?
Just do 401 on the phone.
Yeah, and the computer said, you know, what name or what movie, whatever, and I hung up because it charged for but I was just curious because of course you can't get it off.
Yeah.
But you guys are used to be able to get it off.
Hello?
Your call.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Contractors. Go right there. Do I know a contractor? All right. This is just, I'm going to put out a couple things. So think, who do I know who's a contractor? Lawyers. Insurance. Well, do you know somebody who does insurance? It just, you know, don't qualify. Did I say dentist?
No,
Dentist.
I mean, you did it before.
Yeah, dentist. Auto repair.
I didn't like that so much.
Mm-hmm. So what do you usually have this? Vet. Hairstylist. Nail person. Right?
Yeah.
Carpet cleaner. Right. So you get the idea.
And how about doctors?
It's on another list. I'm just pulling out. Doctor.
Like, there you go. I have all the time.
Put them all in there. You're building your database. This is, you know, there's people in your contacts already, and then there's people who you just forget about, right?
And it's LA, so we have many more people probably use this. Like your yoga instructor, your masseuse, your ghost trainer, and it goes on.
Yeah. As your business grows, you may have the desire and budget to begin marketing to groups of habitat nets, such as geographic or niche farms, right? Two main sources to acquire habitat net contacts is title companies and third-party vendors, right? So you can buy a list and title will give you a list, right? There's just some. You can get more specific with expires and withdrawals. Like I said earlier, there's companies that provide those lists to you.
Can you put all of those in commit?
Okay.
But we can just get it ourselves, right? It says here, Keller Williams Internet in the marketing vendors tab. That's what it's saying.
To get one.
To get whoever they approved vendors. Keller Williams Realty has a list of approved vendors.
Yeah.
You can ask them.
Yeah. Right. They're national vendors. So I would go to our local vendors, people who use, people in the office, that kind of thing, and see what kind of cross collateralization feed it every day, right? You build it, you feed it, you know, collect 10 business cards, call 5 people, write 15 notes, preview 5 homes. Well, we used to call this 10-4, and it was collect 10 contacts, follow up with 10 contacts, write 10 business cards or 10 note cards, and preview certain amount of homes, right? It's a 10-4. We preview 10 homes. It's a 10 times 4, okay? And that's at the core function of your business. Feeding your database, growing your database, communicating with your database, servicing your database, and building your market knowledge, right? Mets do not have to be local realtors, family. I'm trying to get. Mets do not have to be local realtors, family members, and others in your sphere of influence who live outside your area can be a valuable source of referral business. I think what they're trying to say is don't start, especially at this stage in your business, don't start to edit the people in your database. Okay, don't start to say, oh well, they live here, oh, they're up in Seattle, or they're in Chicago, or wherever else there is, right? Just people move to LA, people move to Chicago. Do you know somebody good in Chicago? I would build your referral network there, in Seattle, and really just start to open up the flow of opportunity, because referrals are real business, right? Expanding your database Mets, expanding your Mets database. Dave James expresses a clear priority of the steps to take after you have built your initial Mets database. Once you have put everyone you know into your Mets database, your next challenge is to expand it. Your goal is to meet more people, build those relationships, and ask them for business. The key to adding Mets to your database is to be proactive. By using the prospecting and marketing methods listed below, you will make contact with new people to add to your database. Phone calls and personal visits with your past customers, others in your sphere of influence, and anyone else already in your Mets database. This is a vital database maintenance to keep the hard-won contacts you have and collect more meaningful information about that birthdays, anniversaries, etc. Be always profiling the people, you know, the prospecting moment, right? It's when we're in front of them or on the phone and we're saying, hey, good evening. How's everything going? What do you need? How can I help you? Finding a way to contribute, and we do that in the moment or the follow-up. But then, you know, if there's nothing of super significance, or you fill that order, you know, this could be 3 months, if in a year, right? Something like that. It's only 9 months. You got this. So you got 4 times a year. That's 3 months before. For that last right? You have 3 months in between these prospecting moments, right? And these opportunities. That, you know, that's what we have 33 touches for. This is marketing. Right? Marketing is what's through those. And in technology, it's good to fill that space in between, right? And it's not, you know, but it's the prospecting that really allows you to gather information. Oh, you know, dogs, hello trains. You know, you find out stuff about it. And then, oh, you know, I have a group of people who likes dogs, and so, and I have a group of people who love trains. I love trains also, have the train loving, blah, blah, blah. You know, and you create special touches, you know, pink is my train touch, right? And then the orange is my dog touch, right? So, right? So you have these touches, and some of them are general, and some of them are specific. The more specific the conversation you can have with people, the better, the more they feel like you're talking to them, right? It's harder to ignore, and it's better to build relationships. So, you know, there you go. It's number one is phone calls and personal visits. Best customers, this is the prospecting moments, but you also have to fill in between them, meeting people through school, church, neighbors, sports, hobbies, or communities, open houses, geographic and or niche farms, for sale by owners, expired listings, agent-to-agent referrals, internal leads. This is all different ways of pulling in some, you know, people into your mess. You're moving from having mess to mess. And then what to feed your database? You must gather at least a minimal amount of information from each new person you meet in order to be able to add them to your database and maintain consistent personal contact with them, depending on the set. You may be able to so. Closer to the TV. How's that? Okay, those text. What to feed your database? Their name, make sure you have the accurate spelling of their name, their home address, their home phone number, their email, their business card. card. My business card will provide their name, business phone, whatever. The point is, you want to gather as much information as possible. I would say name and phone number 1, email number 3, mailing address number 4, and then any and all like specifics about them, their lives and their likes and dislikes. The fourth technique, of course, is always great when you're speaking to them, using family, occupation, recreation, dreams. This will afford you the opportunity to gather additional information that will help you build a relationship more quickly, such as buyers or sellers, what are they looking for, do they wish to buy a home or sell a home, their urgency, how soon they would like to do business with you, their spouse's name, their spouse will almost certainly be involved in any future transaction. You want to get to know them too, their past personality profile, so you can adapt your communication style to theirs, their birthdays, their hobbies, interests, children, all of that helps you reestablish connection with them. Here's the thing, this 3 months, after this 3 months, where do you start this prospecting conversation? You can, do you have to rewind and start it all over? Do you have enough information that you can get back to the point where you left off, right? That's the idea. It's like, I know enough about Moses now that I don't have to go back to the first time I met him. All right, every 3 months when I see him. I know that Moses likes music. I know that he was living in Seattle. I know that he's married. I know that he likes, certain kinds of food. You want to use that to reestablish the connection the next time. Last time we spoke, you're telling me about this restaurant that I went to. It was amazing. Blah 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 blah. Right? Oh yeah, I remember when I did. So you're not going back to establishing the relationship from zero anymore. That's where it becomes really tedious. But that's the importance of like taking notes and
Yeah.
That's not my problem. That's what you do with your friends.
right. This is a time where you're seeing them more often, you're experiencing them more, having shared experiences. Hey, shared experiences with your clients. That's a common experience. So that you want to create that. Absolutely want to create that. So,
My question.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds like the dog.
Joey, it's
Yes,
Star.
Star.
I just want to say that you can really dial it down with that after a first conversation. You'll probably know their kids' names, their ages, if they just got a puppy, if they just went on vacation. So you can just jot this stuff down in your notes. So you have so many questions to ask them the next time, and they'll be so eager that that you're aware of all this information and that you really listened and care.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. The better profiling you do, the better. Is it squirrel? What is that? We used to call them squirrels, like caramel, coconut, stuff like that. Yes, like I said, you don't want to have to recreate the wheel every time you interact with somebody. You want to leave off where you left off, right? You want to begin. I'm sorry. You want to begin where you left off. I'm trying to say.
That's a hard part for me.
It's not if you do the work in time, right? Just put the note in. Command, if you're using command has, you can pull command out from your app, there's a command app, you can just put it right in there. Boom, boom, boom. You can upload your walking list into command and you can just go.
Yeah.
Right? If you're committed to a farm, I would upload that as command and I would start building out those profiles of people that you need.
Yeah.
Right? Moving them from one designation to another, yeah, oh, this is somebody I haven't met, now they're a met. And then they're in contact. And now where there's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
So what explains what happened to me? It's not a myth, right?
It's not a mess, but you can now. We
Exactly.
can come.
I just got a lead this morning in my command app. I showed her, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I thought like it was a mistake. She said just text. She said just text. That's how you email me. So send her an email.
Okay. That's how you start relationships, right? So you have the four techniques: buyer and seller data you want to collect, right? Let's see, as you move forward in building your relationships and your contacts and conducting listing consultations and buyer consultations, you will need to gather specific data for your contacts. What information do you need to collect for a seller versus a buyer? What information would you be collecting for a seller to have a productive conversation or listing appointment?
Marketing. Information.
What information would you be gathering from about the seller?
What time? How fast do they need to sell the property?
Okay. All right. Timing. What else?
How much money the property is going to be sold for?
Expectations. Okay. What else would you have? What other information would you have got from the seller?
Maybe the reason why they're selling.
Motivation. Okay. Anything else?
Their train location.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Yeah. These are all good things that will help you in a listing appointment. How about for buyers?
What specifically are they looking for?
What information what data do you need to gather about a buyer to help you service them?
Price
Price.
range. What price range are they?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Financial. What else?
What area?
Areas. Sure. Yeah. All right. What else?
What are their house specifics? You know,
Current.
What was that?
Current living situation.
Anything else?
what are their musts and wants?
Wants and needs.
Or wants and needs?
All right. Goes on, right? But that's a really good start. Right. Communicate. Number 3 is communicating with in a systematic way. Oh, right. Communication. The beginning of the one habit, the power of one principle from 3612 states that you should lead generate 3 hours every workday. If you work on your database during this time block, lead generation time, your database will continue working for you throughout the week, month, and year, right? It's that 90-day cycle. You're loading it up every day. It's going to you're going to see an exponential result from that. So the powerful, number 1 is the beginning of the 3 hours. Use your database to identify and prioritize the appointments. Command will do this for you. If you set it up correctly, it'll just spit out who you should be calling today, right? Phone calls, letters, postcards. So prioritize the appointments, phone calls, letters, postcards, and other activities you need to complete during your lead generation time. that morning. If you use a contact management system, then it would basically do this for you automatically. CMA will do that for you, right? CMS will do that for you, right? 2 is the end of the 3 hours. Update your database while the results of the lead generation activities are fresh in your mind. Add any new contacts you've gotten from the lead generation efforts. Update any contacts existing in your database. So again, you should be, in line. Just have it open, calling people, you're taking notes, take the notes in line. If you're door knocking or you're in another somehow outside the office situation, use your command app to put those notes in. All right, benefits of systemization, consistency is number 1. I'm sorry. Overview of systematic marketing plan 8x8, 33 touch, and 12 direct. These are 3 different ways to stay connected to people. They're just big plans. What you do in those plans, is a whole different story. So let's talk about what an 8x8 is and what you receive from it. So the 8x8 is I just met somebody at the open house, and it's 8 touches in I think 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's like once a week for 8 weeks.
Let's short time. But that is the 8x8 is all about. Sorry, it's all about 8 times in 8 weeks.
What do you
Right, that's
like a
this is an elevated. I'd say this is supposed to be that's why I said 8 weeks needs to be a short. I'm sorry, 8 weeks seems to be a long amount of time. Ben McKinney, someone who I respect, does business in Bellingham,
Washington?
yeah, Bellevue, yeah. Which is
Belleville.
Bellevue.
Lake away from Seattle.
Yeah, it's not Bellevue. I think it's
Bellingham is super north and it's more rural.
Yeah.
It's
one of
more
those.
rural.
It's one of those. He has businesses all over that area. And so he has the 10 days of pain, right? He meets you on a Sunday. He's finding a way to be of value on that Sunday. You're getting an email from that Sunday. You're getting a call on Monday. You're getting an email on Tuesday. You're getting a text on Wednesday. You're getting communicated to every day for 10 days until you're on the bus or you're off the bus, right? It's one way of approaching it, and there's definitely a value to it. 8x8 is more proactive, so it's open house. Let's take it for instance.
Yeah, that's nice.
Open house, I met you, right?
Yeah.
What's the rule? You don't stop one conversation until you have the next step, right? So it's you want more information about sales in this area. So sales report. That's Sunday night. Right? Sunday night. Monday. This is Monday. I am calling.
That's number 1 of these.
This is number 1, but this is not my 8x8. This is just an open house follow up, right? Follow up. Number 2. Right? Monday.
support, they can't act on anything we like.
Sales support.
They can't act on anything we like.
Sure, or yeah, sales support.
Or we can say, see what we like, do like a CMA.
With their house or something like that, whatever the follow-up is. You want to follow up with that, right, is the point. And so, and then 3 is an email. And then, so that's, I would say week 1, you have 3 touches right there. Week 1. And then 4 is week 2. Text or let's say call. It's not a call. Week 2. 5 is an email and a text. Week 3. 6 is another call. 7 is email, text, and then 8 is another call.
So
Right?
6 weeks.
What's that?
6 by 8, 8 by 6.
6 weeks. Yeah. The 8 weeks is full.
Yeah.
And you really want to front load it in here.
Okay.
This is the takeoff. This is the opportunity. This is your one opportunity to make an impression.
Yeah.
Right? And the whole this is for people who have already raised their hand.
Yeah.
Right? They've already raised their hand. Yeah. Right?
Let me get that. So I want to make a smart plan. Bam.
They've already said it. Now, if you meet somebody and they're like, we're not really looking right now, neighbors, that kind of thing, then those people go into the 33 touch. Yeah. Right? Those people go to 33 touch, and that is your your 33 touch for your general peeps. Actually, I'm sorry. 33 touch is for mess. Is for mess. 12 by 12 is for not mess. Right? And this is just the monthly newsletter. Right? Mm-hmm. You have their email, their neighbors, blah, blah, blah. 33 touch is the big kahuna. If you do the 8 by 8 and they're not moved to action, you just put them in 33 touch. You understand how that works? Yeah. And again, you have what is your 33 touch can be 12 newsletters, of course you'll be doing that, right? 4 calls, 4 texts. That's 20, right? There's 3 handwritten cards. Another 12 emails, because they're these are your newsletters, and then these are emails of different kinds. Your hashtag and group emails in there, right? 24, 28, 32. There's 35 just right there, right? Doesn't take much. You do these 12, this is your 12 by 12, this is the same as this, and then you're getting some more specific emails, handwritten card or 2, what are those handwritten cards? They are, holiday, birthday day, and just a note card. You know, you can add events, you can add coffees / lunch. You can add you can add anything all please. Same connected, right? That makes sense. And if you do that 33 touch with your best, you will you'll definitely see that, right? That's all the way out there. All three have become overkill over time. You could find, you know, we move these to smart plans. So we go through that. Okay. Some more versions of it, more versions of 33 touch, more versions of 12 by 12, and you can find those in smart plans also. All right, we are on page go. All right, so database students of agents. Let's take a look at what duties an agent has to complete when working with the database or not. Daily duties: add new contacts, manage new leads, keep appointments, make calls, write notes, send and receive emails. I mean, this sounds repetitive, but it's just one of the tools, a system of doing this in time. Once you have to go back to like, I'll put that in later, the chances of that happening cut it in half, down to 25%, right? So your daily duties right there laid out, add new contacts, you choose the number, manage your leads, keep appointments, make calls, write notes, send and receive emails, schedule follow-up activities, manage listings, closings, and complete tasks. Your weekly duties are to send letters, postcards, and mailers, send listings, service reports, make calls to sellers, so on and so forth. Your monthly duties: send monthly mailers and emails, maintain contact records, and such. And then yearly duties: send seasonal mailers, review and update contact records, review effectiveness of lead sources, develop and implement business plan. Are you starting to see the breakdown of what this job is? This is starting to lay out in an understanding way, like what your job is, what your business activities consist of. Questions in that?
Keep it in contact.
These are the activities that get you the end result, right? If you want other people's success, this is what they're doing, right? If you want the result that other people have, this is what they're doing. Okay, we're going to skip over the next part because it talks about content management systems. Definitely, Microsoft Outlook is not part of the conversation at all, as is in most of these active top reviews. So there's still two that are outstanding, but I really, once we get fun, I feel confident in recommending all of you to start your training. It's not as a need and more. So if you haven't already, stick with Ethan. And has anybody in here already sat down with Ethan for the first or second Yeah, yeah. Okay, so get in there and get the party started. Right? Use it. And so this I do think is some valuable information here in your keys to CMS success. It says use it in some way, right? Put your very next contact into CMS, import your whole database into CMS. CMS can work for you if it doesn't have, if you can't work, it doesn't have context, of course. Take baby steps. And in that, you don't have to use every widget of it, right? Get them in. I think the first thing you can have you do is put it in contact, right? Get the contact in. And then secondarily, contact on smartphone. If you get everyone in your database into a smart plan, you will listen to it. Often agents will simply enter all of their contacts information to CMS and then not use any of the automated features of their CMS. They use it like an Excel spreadsheet. The key to harnessing the leverage of your contact management system is to assign action plans and then let the CMS prompt you to activities. So you should be coming in every day, going to your contact management system, right? And you should be telling who to call that day, right? Because you have them all on a database. Now, when you put them into a smart plan, you're not going to be putting them all on the same day. It's a smart plan. So what I suggest is you do baby steps and put 10 people on, get everybody into your database, right? Start building that out as you contact them. And then 10 people a day go on the smart plan. And so you're maintenance that puts you on track to calling 10 people a day. Because when the call comes up in that smart plan, it's going to be, email, text, call, email, text, call, email, text, call, lunch, email, whatever it is, right? Every day. So I would tend to listen to it, simply enter all of their contact information, CMS, and then not use any of the automated features. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Advantages of Pro Manager, we're going to talk about that. That's the relevant top producer. These are different databases. We have our own, this is before we have our own database. So let's, so what do you do with non-responsive clients or contacts? What do you do with them? Don't touch that. Really.
Don't touch it. Put on the 33 touch.
Yeah.
And then just keep them there. And if they are like, leave me alone, then unsubscribe them or put them on like 12 by 12 back in the comments. But you have met them. So you just
So if someone tells you leave me alone, leave alone. That's the end of that's a punctuation, right? But short of that.
I was surprised that people didn't tell me to leave me alone. Yeah. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Texting strangers, you know? And what's up here?
We're much more critical. Listen, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to say, oh, nothing.
Yeah.
You're not back.
Yeah,
right?
bye.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a punctuation. Cool, you're done.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Great.
And even then, you have to look at, is it I'm fine for now or I'm fine forever?
Right.
Right. If somebody gets indigent, then definitely cut them off. But if it's like, oh, I'm good, right? That's a no for now. That's not a no for now.
No.
So really, most times it's no for now. Yeah. Somebody pops off. You don't want to. There's no way of getting their their business in the end. And if you get it, most times you don't want it. Right? Done this. Over time, you will have some contacts who simply have not done business with you or have not referred any business to you, while it may not make sense for you to keep spending the same amount of time and money or personal touches with them and items of value. You should still keep them in your database. You might still get business from them eventually. Some ideas for altering your prospecting marketing approach to unresponsive contacts or to take them off of your touch plan. You're currently at and add them to have them on and to put them on the 12 direct plan. I put them on an email only plan, cost you virtual. Right? Agreed. Million real estate agent database. Once you've grown your database to thousands of people, you will have earned the right to begin culling contacts. Yeah. At this point, don't filter. Don't filter out for need, geography. If you like them or not, just know everybody. They will. They'll either self-realize or you will get to a point of abundance that they will become incredibly irrelevant, right? And still irrelevant. Drop opting out of contacts asked to be removed from your database. Take such requests seriously. Not only is it a waste of your time, money, and efforts to continue to contact those who do not wish to be contacted, but because of the new anti-spam legislation, it is illegal. Keller Williams just paid $12 million to settle a DNC lawsuit for every agent at Keller Williams. Get a class action suit that went against a bunch of big real estate companies, paid $12 million. They're not going to pay $12 million. Right? It's a one shot. If you guys screw up, it's going to be on you guys. So be cognizant of the DNS list. Be respectful of it. The DNC, I'm sorry. Call us. How do you? So
how do we know?
Well, if you're required. So if someone gives you their information at an open house or any other venue, then they're inviting you to call. Okay, number one, they give it to you. They're inviting you to call. Number two is if you acquire a list from at least from title or from other services, it will always fund it, and you'll see a notation on there that goes to DNS call. DNS is because they have an take this list, they give you the list, and
So they'll let you know.
They'll take it out. It's the in between their stuff that gets a little worse.
So that's just for phone calls, not for emails or
Just
it's the onus is on them. If I send them a postcard and they don't want the hours, 99.9% are never going to look at the postcard and then go, oh, I'm going to go right to my phone or computer, tell him to stop sending it.
Yeah, I've never received the do not send the postcard.
You can text them.
But yeah, the onus is on them to
You can text
Put
them
themselves
and
on
they're
the
not call list. And so like the list, like I got one from that.
That's right.
So you don't think I should double check that?
It should have a demarcation on it. If it doesn't have a demarcation on it, then it's only from. But it should have like as DSC or
And they're red too.
Oh, there's a little thing next to this that says do not call.
Oh.
Yeah,
Do not call.
they're red, so it pops up.
A lot of them.
This other one with PDF.
Okay.
See, if you look on the PDF,
Yes, it pops right out. And what I have learned, a lot of those premium leads that he sends out, a lot of them repeats. Like the people that you didn't contact weeks ago, they tend to come back up. Yeah.
Well, you should be calling them in follow-up.
I do. That's what makes it easy. They come back. So that's because when I first began doing this, they said, well, by the time you get to the 6, 7, 8, or whatever contact call or whatever it is, they start recognizing. And I was like, you got to keep going back to that. But no, they keep reoccurring. So now you just keep calling them, and now you get to the 6, 7, 8 time or whatever it is. Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It really works. All right. Any questions up there? All right. And then part 4 is service all the leads that come to play. Right? You spend all this time to get their information, to build a relationship, build a two-way conversation, and to move them through the opportunity funnel. Careful attention to lead tracking and conversion is one of the core disciplines of lead generation. To do this effectively, you need processes that capture leads and track their progress through your business. You can use opportunities for this. This is a great way to use opportunities. Once they raise their hand, they have a need as a buyer or a seller, you can put them on your opportunities and track them along the way. Properly following up and tracking the leads will help you determine what prospecting and marketing activities work for you. Absolutely. Determine who is sending you business. Absolutely. And by tracking referrals, you can better reward those who have helped you to grow your business and ensure that they will continue to send you clients. Get a lead management fast track. Here's the fast track system. Funnel, assign, source, track. Funnel leads are funneled into a single point of entry for your business, either a buyer or seller. They are. And then assign. Leads are assigned to the appropriate plan and or team member. So using opportunities, you can assign them to a track of efficiency in your standards. Okay, the day that a buyer says that he will work with me, the first thing I do is then day 2 I do then right. So you want to create a standard of interaction with your clients. You can do that in opportunities. Opportunities allows you to build checklists in days and over weeks and over time, right, to achieve that. So you funnel that lead into the opportunity that is necessary, and then you assign it the plan that or the opportunity plan that you want, and then leads are sourced in order to calculate the return on investment in various prospecting and marketing activities. You want to understand what the cost of that lead is and how and the last one tracking. If you're focused on generating leads, there will come a time when you will have more leads than you are able to personally handle. This is when you know it's time to leverage talents. All right, so funneling leads. Funneling leads means channeling leads from all of our various lead generator sources to a single point of entry into the system, into your business. By funneling leads initially, you will later be able to source and track the leads to determine which lead generation sources are bringing in the leads, determine which lead generation sources are more likely to yield leads to convert to business, to track or not, to track whether or not leads are being followed up track conversion rates, and more referral sources. Unity in marketing. One of the implications of funneling is that all of your marketing must feature one email address, one website, one phone number, with the exception of IVR. Of course, some of the marketing items will need to feature the same contact information, or signs, flyers, ads, select mail pieces, promotional items, so on and so forth. This is about creating consistency in your business, that you ensure that each client shares the same experience, right? It's important. Again, this starts to break it down. This was a more analog world that this was created in. You're going to be creating this in opportunities with phones. Anytime a lead comes into the business, it should be entered into your database. And so you create a protocol for phone leads, create a protocol for email leads, create a protocol for website leads, and any other lead sources you might have, right? Two is assigning leads. Organizing your database into contact types is a must. We can quickly identify any target group for a mass mail out or email campaign. So assigning contacts a designation. But once you have leads funneling in, you must have a system in place to effectively convert those leads into business. How those leads are followed up on will depend upon how you assign. So number one is a new lead to the proper group in your database. You want to assign them. Whether these are buyers, sellers, referrals, or the such. So two is new leads to the appropriate marketing action. When I have, hey, how's it going?
I think I'm hearing you on Zoom.
Okay, where's it coming in?
Grab the conference mic.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing is in a once you have a new lead, the new lead's coming in, and then you categorize them properly, and then you put them on the smart plan for that lead. What are the actions associated with being designated to that group? And if you have a team, of course you're giving that lead to the appropriate team. Using contact types, you should be as specific as possible in clarifying each contact in your database. These fields in some of your primary contact types are, so there's the upgraded version of this is tags and groups, okay? How they can exist in they could be a buyer who you met through allied resources, who is from your geographic farm or some other thing. They can exist in multiple buckets, right? But the more specific you can be about defining those buckets, the more tools you have to work with. Good? Yeah, sorry about that. Sourcing leads. You will be lead generating through a variety of methods without the ability to determine which of those methods are bringing in leads and how many leads each method is yielding. Your lead generation activities will be the equivalent of playing darts blindfold. Not only would you not know your score, but you wouldn't even know if you hit the board at all. Determining which sources are worth your resources and which sources are not bringing in the necessary leads to justify their cost begins with knowing what your lead generation sources are. For every lead source in your business, you should create a source in your database and record the sources of every lead that you enter into your database. Past clients, agent referrals, network advocates, board advocates, and such. Sign calls, open houses, form, FISBO, expires, IVR, website, magazine ad calls, newspaper ads, and such. Past clients, just sold cards for sponsorship, influencers, so on and so forth. It goes on. What is the lead source? And knowing your lead sources over time, it might as a new agent, it might seem a little overkill, but having that information built up historically can really help you with everything from scheduling to budgeting and so on and so forth, right? You know, we have a time right now where it's most important to do more of what works. You have to know what works first, right? What works for one of you is not going to work for the other. It's because you each have individual skills that have you excelling in any particular activity. So you know, really start tracking now. And so you don't have to do everything. You absolutely do not want to try every lead source out there, because it really gets diluted. You're all talking about these expired and withdrawn lists, and hey, that's great. You got to do it every day. It's a commitment. And you know what's also great? If it doesn't work. Okay? There's zero, because there's something out there that will work for you. Okay? But if it works for you, you better be all in on it. And that means calling and following up and calling and following up, honing your scripts on how to move people from call to appointments, and doing whatever you can to pour into that module. If it's your thing. Okay? And zero judgment, it is not. You just find a number, right? You want to find one that works for you and your special powers. Very yourself up. Do yourself a favor. Okay. Tracking leads. So the more data, you know, this is a time where it was much more analog ways of tracking. You have in command the opportunity to track and build reports off of very basic information that you have to put in there. You still have to put the information. Okay. All right. Build your database, feed it every day, communicate with a systematic way, and service all the leads. That's the final thought. Whew. What do you guys think? Give me some ahas.
Do what works when you figure it out. I'm hoping that, well, not hoping, I'm working to figure out what lead generation method and strategy is like the aha, like, oh, this works perfectly with my personality, and not ignorant to the fact that it's still going to be work.
And a stretch. It's all been a stretch.
You got to stay consistent. But what I find is, when I first started doing this, going out talking to people, they don't really know you the first time. You go back, and the more you show up, the more you start talking to them, they start opening up to you. They start telling you things that they wouldn't tell you at first. They have wants and needs all along, and then it starts to come out.
Yep.
You know, and then like you said, it spills over. It gets contagious. You talk to this person inside this store, or barbershop, beauty salon, with them. Everybody in there, they're interested. How can I get your card? Or they start telling you their reasons for it, or their family members. So, you know, it starts spreading.
Yeah.
But the more you show up, the more you talk to them, the more familiar they become with you.
And that's right, absolutely. Consistency is everything. And that's why it's important to choose an activity that works for you, right? Because you have to continue to do it, right? You know, a good week is over, and you know, you got the rest of the month ahead of you. Good month is over, you got the rest of the year ahead of you. Good year is over, you got a whole another year in front of you, right? You know, deals or you know, closing a deal is great. What's next, right? And to create that consistency of opportunity, you have to create a consistency of consistency, right? And you have to consistently generate. However that is, right? If it's network inside of your alumni association or door knocking or something else, you know, I would ask you all, like, really start with what. Think about yourself at your most effective. When was that? Where was that? What are the elements of that moment, right? Of that moment and your moments, you know, when you were most effective. And start to holistically look at those activities inside of that. Like, what did I actually do? You know, it's like, because it don't kind of felt right. It worked, and you know, it's like, oh, my passion for music, and I love putting the pieces of the puzzle of booking it and getting fulfilling the writer and following up with them and marketing the event and all those pieces. You know, it's like I love all of that, putting that together for that, to create this moment for hundreds of thousands of people, right? And so look at those activities and find like activities inside the lead generation process, right? If it was, you know, I like schmoozing with the artists and people who love music, well, okay, let's do that again. You know, if you shine inside that musical conversation, then let's create, you know, people who love music also need to find some houses, right? So what is it inside of that? Or that's a more direct book. It could be about the activities, you know, almost like, you know, the sharing it with people, sharing those ones. Okay, or you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out and buy tickets to 5 shows. I'm gonna buy 4 tickets for each show, and I'm gonna start inviting people to share that experience with me, right? And that's a form of lead generation in itself. And so, and you don't have to, you know, you can dabble for as long as it takes, but don't, you know, jump quickly if it's not working. It's no judgment if it doesn't work, because that's what you're trying to find out.
I have like one ethical question. I finally door knocked last week a couple times, and then it was kind of amazing revelation to see kind of find out what I can say or whatnot. But then I came across a couple of people that have told me, oh yeah, I worked with Keller with Inflection before, but I don't know the agent's name. So like, if they know already I'm working with such and such, I feel like I shouldn't step on that relationship, right?
They don't know the agents.
But then once they say, like, I don't know the agent's name, the agent was like, oh gosh, darn that shit. Like, can I pursue that relationship further, Joey? Or like,
Yes. What are you saying?
They gave you information. I mean, they didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I finally got there, and
it's not your job to reconnect a client to their old service provider. You know, you don't, if they would like to know. Oh yeah, you know, it's funny you should ask. You know, I worked with an agent at Keller Williams Larchmont. He was a really great guy, and I can't remember his name. Could you help me remember his name?
That's one thing, right? But, you know.
So it's all fair game, even though it's okay.
Yeah, if they were really interested in that agent, they would have their game. I mean, if somebody sit up there and say they don't know someone, the door is open. I mean, you know, the door is open.
Because you don't know what working with means, right? They just gave them some leads. Did they actually complete transactions?
They actually bought the house. Wow. And then he gave me a couple of information. Her husband was Leo and she was Korean. And then and I'm like, And then at that point I was like, I don't want to step on anyone's toe here.
I run across people in some of these neighborhoods that know Joey from back then. They say, how's Joey? You know, I said, doing great. I think so. I mean, you never know out there.
I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
Well, so how far can I even push it? Like you said, well, I'm not tied down to anyone.
You're not doing it. No, there's no ethics involved. If they said, hey, I work with Pete on the core and Pete's my guy, and you're like, hey, Pete sucks. That's a different story. Right?
Okay. All right, man.
Yeah. Right, you could tell, give my regards.
There's something great about it. Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah, keep it going.
So I just want to kind of see how people are doing this 33-point database. Do you know from anyone within our office who's using the system really well? I kind of want to be on their database first and see how kind of
you want to see someone else's.
I kind of want to,
context.
Well, especially that was doing it well. Maybe I see some people that have context and they have assistants. I'm sure they want to add a personal touch. So instead of having just mass email over there, they could afford to have a personal phone call go. But I'm trying to find out someone who's actually using this command system really well. And I want to see if I'm in the system, how I get treated in that system. And I just want to be.
You can set yourself up for your own smartphone.
There's that too, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's the main point.
So here,
that's how they approach it.
Go to Angela Bond, search Angela Bond and sign up for her. She uses command. Valentine Group uses command and some other things. Who else uses command? Tiffany uses command and something else too. Oh, I think Laura Anderson, go to Laura Anderson's newsletter. She signed her up, she'll get you lessons. You get some emails from that. Awesome. If you're looking for the way people, connect, right? The way they get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you gotta get some phone calls. They're like, yeah, this Moses guy came up to my client's house and he's door knocked.
See, another thing you gotta understand, I haven't done a deal yet. I know I'm approaching, I know I'm getting closer. But some people, they're on the fence. I'm finding out. You kind of just gotta lead them. You kind of gotta hold their hand a little bit and just keep leading them because they need that guidance. They want to, they're not sure if they really want to, and they don't understand the process. You kind of gotta lead them that way. See?
No choking anybody out though.
No. None of that. None of that.
Well, also, I think we think, this is my own personal opinion, that because some of us, we might know real estate really well, in our own way, and it seems like they could get all the information because it's kind of out there floating around. Think about other things in life. Like, I know nothing about boating, really, even though I grew up in a beach area with a dock and all that stuff. If I wanted to buy a boat, I wouldn't know that. I need somebody to help me. Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, people think they know things, but then when it comes down to it, it's like, they don't really know. They don't know how to put it all together.
They know enough to deflect.
Well, yeah. Or they think they know what they can afford. I always do that. And I'll say, and in the particular area, but I'll say, have you ever thought about this area? Let me show you something over here. Because we get very fixated on what we want. And so everything else on the side goes out the
Say like, what's your dream home? Cool, let me do a comparative market analysis for the area. Great, this is a little outside area. Check this guy out. Let's go see it. Let's go do a tour. You like music?
Let's go see a show.
You like music? Great. Let's go see a show. Bring your friends. They need to buy or sell real estate?
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's be besties.
Let's do it.
All right, P's and G's.
B's and G's.
Where are we?
B's, G's, and
That's
D's.
it. That's it.
B's and T's.
No, G's, B's, and B's.
Oh, yeah. B's.
So Joey, I was gonna suggest just doing 90046.
What is that?
It's private and it's also, but it's flatlands, condos.
It's shitty parking up there. That's the problem, right?
No, but there's a lot of flat areas, but there's also a canyon,
Up there.
all that, Mountain